So the next area that I'm going to cover is to look at the face. The face comes a little forward, and that's also, you know, something to do with the way we paint, the color tonalities that we will use, and so on. So I'm going to work on the face, so under the eyes, and also a little bit on the nose. Nose will have a few more layers to go. I think many other places also will have to go again and again with some layers, but for now we're going to focus on yeah, the face area. And I have the same type of gray, slightly darker I would prefer, so I'm just blending a little more of the ivory black into the titanium white to have it ready to dry. So I'm going to work on the section underneath the eye, the cheek area coming down, and try doing the same on the other side as well. That's the plan. So when I do the other side, then I will also check if I have, yeah, I think I'll have to do this side as well. I haven't finished this side of the head. I noticed that now, but yeah, I'll do the left side first and then move on there. So, okay. Under the cheek or the under the eye, sorry, under the eye, there's enough of gray coming here. So I'm just going to put in some strokes here to suggest. Okay, over here. And then over here. Not too many here because there's also black coming. And while working on the black, I will have to do a slightly rework in the eye area. I also go around and check if there is anything to be corrected as well, isn't it? So I do that. It's a slightly gray, and this we have already made gray, but we have to start working on some more tonalities around. So that will be our section to work on. So if you see, it's so tricky. The tendency will be to work on this section. This is not the front portion of the face, so it ends in this very thin line here, and it's slightly away, but we will work on this a little later. So we're going to work on only this area, including the nose, sides of the nose as well. So I have marked the gray here wherever I wanted, and I need to do a little more darker strokes. So for that, moving on to the brush number 1. I take the ivory black directly. There is enough of gray here and white here, so it's going to blend in. So I'll start first with the adjustment that I wanted to do on the eyes. This is exactly what I wanted to do to have the space done nicely. And I can see that, I painted fully here because this was considerably dark here. But then when you come closely out this area, you'll see that it's not pure black. It's a mix of various tonalities. So I want to do the suggestive dots or stripes that are there, thin, subtle ones. To a certain extent, leave it out because we have to work on the hair strands later. But this is just a plan for us to put in where exactly are they extremely darker tonalities. I'm just doing that here and on the nose, on to our left side or the right side of the animal's face. You'll see this nice broad darker spaces, but also dilute it a little bit. I'm diluting it a little bit because it's it gradually comes down the color tonality. Wow. Okay, see the nice dents. So look at it from the point of view of some deep dents versus the hair. Because I am doing the same in my computer, and I can see that some of them are really not hair. It's the shape of the nose, or it's got to do with the body itself. So there is a strong suggestion there. So I'm just trying to build in those spaces. Leave it just that. So that when we start working on the hair, it's easier for us to identify. So the more we are able to define in the second layer, the third layer becomes easier for us to start working on or identify spaces where we want to use a gray tonality hair or a white tonality or a black, whatever that we want to do. So that's what I'm trying to establish here. Okay, I think I've got the key darker areas here. But right now, if we go back to the cheek, in here, we also saw some black strokes that we could have done here. So I'm just doing that. In the white area or the lighter area, we still have scope for building some blocks of, not too large, but then small little blocks of darker tonality, black tonality. Let's see this. This is fine. This is okay. A little bit more here. And if I have to do the same thing a little above also, there is in here I didn't see much of such a thing, but over here there was one. There's one here slightly hiding. I think it looks fair enough for me now. Let's move on to this side. On this side, I think I missed working on the gray as well. So we'll anyways work on the gray. Not too much here. It's like I said, the forehead is slightly on the lighter tonality, but we still have some here to work on. And then I can move to the cheek and come to the side of the nose. Okay, so going back to the gray tonality, right? This section, we did the head here. We said, okay, I will not work on the sides yet. I'm just thinking of the side. If you look at it, it's from the head, from close to the ear, but it's this side curve. I'm trying to avoid that now so that the focus is on the really front view of the head of the tiger. Okay, so this is where I am. Looking at the spaces where it could be slightly, okay, I can see that it could be a bit more of black as well. Just adding it, slightly leaving it there, coming back to the gray. There isn't much of a need here, but then slightly towards the edge. Okay, the section we're not going to touch. Just over the eye, there are some strokes that are here, just over the eye. Right. Let's come underneath the eye, the cheek area. I think last time itself, we have somehow in my case, I can see that I have blended in enough of the gray that I need here. Just looking at this section where there might be some need. Okay. Okay. That's enough. Going back to the black, looking at the darker values that need to be added. It's the same thing like here with that we did, just focusing on the eye ones, making sure the tonality is right. We come out here. giving it a rough tonality. I'm not filling it properly. I want it to be a little rough on the edge so that when I start working on the details, it'll come up. That's close to the nose. And in here, it need not be this dark, but can give a slight texture here. If you see, I'm just making the brush go over not so perfectly because I want it to be a slightly shabby, so it will, start emoting a nice range of colors when we start giving the effect needed for hair. Sorry, I'm just doing so slowly here because it's so interesting. It's so giving in a way, isn't it? I guess it helps that we do the same thing slightly in the middle of the nose, the bridge, the brow bridge. And I wouldn't bother too much. I just want to give those nice little black tweaks, highlights, going over like this. Okay. And I think I want to give that very light spots also here in advance. Not regular, I can see. Some of them are thin, some of them are thicker. Those spots are there everywhere. I also have to work on the white. And just keep an eye on the direction when you're working on the left. The direction of these dots or hair strands are, towards the left, and then towards the right, when it's the right side of the nose. And there is the center impact also. And I think we need too many now. At least in my case, it looks like created what I wanted to create to a certain extent here. And the rest, I think we'll work on the details in the third layer. So this cheek, we do have a few more spots to work on, or two more. The gray worked fine. Fair enough. For the nose, or underneath the nose area, there is enough work to be done. So, but then there's something that we could do a little strategically. So I'm just going to work on the nose, fine-tuning it, because it looks like this is the smoothest area as compared to the other places in the body, the face of the tiger. Just give it a smooth finish for now. And then, do you see the light throwing in here on the top side? So I would love to pick up a bit of the titanium white and start blending in here. I'm going to put it first sharply, then I will start blending in. That's one. And then even here, close to the edge of it, is not too much here. Okay, wherever. That's it, I guess. So if I have to blend this now, I'm just gonna do it. And then we take the now there's this slight dark center here, just putting a very thin line with the black and blending in the black as well. Okay, I guess for now we are good. Giving a very thin black highlight on the edge. Good, nice. Just gonna rework on this black. The space is fine so far. Maybe I should give a bit more of this. Done. And in here, the underneath the nose, the mouth area, I don't want to change this color much, but I see that there is this brilliant spots that I want to capture. So starting here, the side of the nose, I see these brilliant spots that I want to put in. And these spots are here, want to away. Then we have spots coming all over. Right. We do the same this way. Okay. And then the jaw also has a I guess this is enough for now. We are now ready to move on to the sides. Okay, now continuing on the gray scale here in the outer sections. So these sections comparatively show a lighter gray scale. So I'm not going to add more of the ivory black. Whatever I have is okay for now to continue. Maybe when we go into the details of it, we will work in depth. And then maybe we will pick up more of colors or more of the tonalities. Huh? So this is how we are starting here. I'm looking at the space in between the ear and this section. We said this one, we worked on this area. There is this minute section that we missed in both sides, wantedly, because I just wanted to have it all done together. So I'm just looking at it now and then getting started in the some of the places. I've been referring back in my large screen as well. I can see it here, but then the best in the larger screen, just to be sure where things are. I just need to put in some of these strokes, not too much, because there's enough of white strokes as well. So when I go into this, for me, I'm just splitting for the sake of understanding. There's this white layer, the last one, and the one before. And these two were the ones we chose not to work on. And then when we go a little bit in between, there's one third. section here that's close to the cheek. This is what we did not work on when we worked on this area. Focus on this area. And that's the same thing we did on the right side as well. So this is 1, 2, 3. So if we just go over that, I'm looking at this section and saying, okay, quickly, I'm just going to put in some of it. And I can see that there's also enough white in it. Not titanium white, but then there is a little bit of it. And this is the place where we start pushing a little bit of this gray into the black area as well. Because it's not these shapes that we did initially. This was just for us to identify spaces. This is not a thing. And also when we work on this, we're going to make it slightly bigger as well. So I'm just going on making some strokes here. I want to just have a quick look at the direction because I think I'm making a mistake here. The direction could be a little away. Yes. So it's important to look at the direction the hair is flowing into. If you see, this is what is giving that shape. This beautiful animal. So I have given it slightly a touch, and I can see that there are some shades that could go here. They aren't that what do you call gray altogether. So we can use white later when we do the third layer. It's already getting exciting, isn't it? So let's do the smaller section, the third, and then come to the last here. In here, I don't see much here, so it's similar to this, at least for now. If you are jumping into going into the details, just wait a bit. Let's not do so much perfection as yet. There's still so much to watch in this section, in this second layering. How much of shading? It's not detailing yet. It is still shading and understanding the light versus dark, isn't it? So let's stick to that agenda. I know it could be hard for somebody who is so good with details, but yeah, could be good to do it step by step. So now I'm going to go a little bit away. Can you see? So I know that this is in the best that I could use to go into the minute details. But again, we're not going to go into the minute details in this layer. So for now, for me to just make some nice strokes around, I think I will do this here. The paint is really thick. I have to really dilute it a bit and to make it work for me. But then always remember, not too much of oil. These are really fine shades that are going to come up here. So for now, I'm just introducing the grayscale here a little more because I can see that there's enough drama here with respect to the strokes. So I'm just doing suggestive strokes here for me to understand where to go. And when you do this gray, what happens is that it'll help you when you are going to put the detailed hair strands, black or white perfectly. It'll stand out because of this gray background. That's why I'm just trying to give this tonality here where I see enough of this, movement going on. Very dynamic. And I'm making sure it comes slightly away from this belt that we made initially. I'm not going to go again into much of the details. So right now I have just established some of it. This is okay for me to move on. I'm not going to go here. Remember, this is the neck area. This is not the face. So we're not going to go here yet. We will go again to this side. Do the same thing. These are really nice strokes here. Can make it bigger, slightly. Okay. I think I'm done close to the ear, whatever I wanted to do. Maybe a little bit here. Then I stop there and then I come here. Now it's time I want to focus a little bit closer here and then move on, because if I want to keep my hand, I keep on saying it, but I think I've learned also not to keep my hand on top of anything and work on. Still. Right next to the cheek. Do we have enough of it? There is some nice suggestive gray tones here. From there emerge small little black as well that we could do. There's some here that goes slightly black as well. Right. So now if we take it in parts like this, it's actually not too difficult. Just focus on that section and see how far you can do justice to it. Now I come to the last circle, or the last of the hair tones here. I want to go a little bit. See, that's just like the way it kept on going that direction. It's going in this direction and slightly away from the borderline that we made. It's interesting to see how this is moving. There are strokes coming all the way through. Can I That is fair enough. I don't think I'm going to work too much into this detail here anymore because we have the basic setup needed from the second layer for us to work through in detail in the third layer. Yeah. Here now we are ready to work on the interesting, just before the neck and the body, there's this jaw also has some nice little gray tonalities coming closer here. Just define that roughly before we move on to this. This section, this is pretty much dull rather than gray. It's dull, and it's just because it's away from the focus point, and that's what we want to establish here. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of black here to blend again with the gray tonality that we have. See if we can get it even more darker than it is. It's almost like this. Yeah, it's even darker in some places I can see. Yeah, we'll start here. This is a fair tonality to start, I guess. And let's see how far we move with it. Okay, now we'll look at this directions and the strokes. It's slightly broad. And I think I can make it slightly darker, very close to the chin. So I'm just going to go like this, broader strokes. I can see that it is helpful to define broader sense, and then we can work on the details when we come to the third layer. Can't see much of it here. Okay. Just gonna move it a little up, but you're able to see more of what I'm doing here. Yes. Right here, yes. So I haven't done much in terms of detailing. It's just broader strokes, and I'm not bothered to even correct it perfectly. I just want some strokes going in and out. I think it is enough for now. If I have to just explain the logic how I did it, I'm just doing what is close to the gray belt, the chin area, and then what will touch the next black belt, the black area. And in between are those nice weaving hair strands that will come up. This is one. And then when I come to this section, again, I don't want to go too much into detailing, but I'll darken this up a little more, slightly more, and then wanna go sporadically making some strokes here and there. We'll work on the next level of details wherever needed. Not too much, because not too much can be seen there as well, and it isn't so bright. So when we work on this, we will also make sure that it gets a slightly duller look so that it comes right behind and not in the front. I'm just not worried about the way I'm doing the strokes, but when we come to the next layer, it would definitely matter. All the smart things that we are trying to do here will have to really work, but of course it's a part of the game that we do when we do the details. Just trying to make sure that it doesn't look so fair as compared to, tonalities in the face. This is enough for now. So we leave it. And then we are going to move into the third layer, the detailing. So it's going to be a very interesting thing. What exactly am I going to do with the eye? I have to take a call now. I'll do it shortly.